A simple Valentine's Day gesture was supposed to be sweet. Instead, it set social media on fire. When Bruno Mars surprised fans with roses and handwritten notes, few expected the romantic move to ignite a digital clash that would spill across X, Instagram, and TikTok. Within hours, hashtags were trending, timelines were flooded, and an unexpected fan war was underway. The moment that triggered the storm seemed harmless. As part of a Valentine's Day promotional rollout tied to his upcoming musical era, Bruno Mars arranged for flowers to be delivered to select fans in major cities including Los Angeles and New York. Short video clips of stunned recipients quickly went viral, but as engagement skyrocketed, comparisons began surfacing online, some involving the global fandom of BTS. What followed was less about flowers and more about fandom loyalty, cultural impact, and the emotional intensity of pop stardom in the digital age. To understand why the reaction escalated so quickly, it helps to revisit the career that made Bruno Mars one of the most recognizable entertainers of his generation. Born Peter Gene Hernandez in Honolulu, Hawaii, he was raised in a musical family steeped in soul, rock, reggae, and Motown. Before he became a global star, he was a behind-the-scenes songwriter and producer, co-writing hits like Nothin' on You and Billionaire. When he stepped into the spotlight with Just the Way You Are in 2010, he immediately positioned himself as a throwback showman with modern polish. Over the next decade, Bruno Mars built a catalog that bridged eras. Albums like Doo-Wops and Hooligans, Unorthodox Jukebox, and the Grammy-dominating 24K Magic cemented his place in pop history. His collaboration project with Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic, earned critical acclaim and multiple Grammy Awards, reinforcing his reputation as an artist who respects tradition while reinventing it. With 15 Grammy wins and over 130 million records sold worldwide, his commercial power is undeniable. Industry insiders often point to his discipline and meticulous attention to detail. A veteran producer who has worked on major pop releases described him as a perfectionist in the studio. He'll redo a vocal line 20 times until it feels timeless. That drive has shaped not just chart performance but also stagecraft. His live shows are widely considered among the best in modern pop, combining choreography, live instrumentation, and charisma reminiscent of legends like James Brown and Prince. This Valentine's Day campaign, however, showed another side of the superstar. According to members of his creative team, the idea behind the flower deliveries was rooted in gratitude. He wanted to create a real-world moment, one marketing executive involved in the rollout said. In an era where everything is digital, handing someone a flower felt personal. The plan was simple: reward loyal listeners, spark organic buzz, and build anticipation for what insiders hint could be a new solo project later this year. The strategy worked perhaps too well. As clips of fans crying and hugging delivery drivers circulated, engagement numbers surged. Then came the comparisons. Some social media users drew parallels between the gesture and previous fan interactions by K-pop artists. A subset of online commentators framed it as competition, questioning originality and influence. Supporters of BTS, whose ARMY fandom is known for its organization and global reach, entered the conversation. Within hours, hashtags defending both artists were trending simultaneously. It is important to note that there has been no direct conflict between Bruno Mars and BTS themselves. The friction exists primarily at the fan level. Digital culture rewards intensity, and fandom identity can be deeply personal. Algorithms amplify outrage faster than nuance. What might once have been a fleeting debate now becomes a viral narrative. Music critic Dana Feldman of a Los Angeles-based entertainment outlet sees the episode as a symptom of a broader shift. Pop music is no longer just about songs, she explained. It's about community. It's about belonging. When one artist trends, fans of another can interpret it as a cultural power shift. Social media turns symbolic gestures into battlegrounds. For Bruno Mars, the controversy arrives at a pivotal moment. After the success of Silk Sonic and his extended Las Vegas residency, speculation has been building about his next chapter. Streaming numbers remain strong, and younger artists continue to cite him as an influence. His blend of funk, R&B, and pop has shaped radio programming for more than a decade. In many ways, he represents a bridge between analog musicality and digital virality. Behind the scenes, sources suggest he has been quietly recording new material in Los Angeles and New York. Collaborators hint at a return to high-energy funk with modern production textures. One session musician described recent studio work as rhythm-driven, live, and celebratory, like he's reconnecting with the joy of performance. If true, that direction could reaffirm his identity at a time when pop trends shift rapidly toward minimalist beats and algorithm-friendly hooks. Culturally, Bruno Mars occupies a unique space in American entertainment. He is both nostalgic and contemporary. His performances evoke 1970s soul reviews while thriving on TikTok edits. He is multiracial, globally influenced, and stylistically versatile. That adaptability has allowed him to remain relevant in a streaming era that often sidelines artists from the early 2010s. The Valentine's Day episode also highlights the power of image management in 2026. Marketing campaigns are no longer linear. A bouquet can become a headline. A tweet can spark international debate. Yet controversy, when managed carefully, can expand reach rather than diminish it. Data analysts tracking social engagement noted that searches for Bruno Mars spiked dramatically during the 48 hours following the viral moment. Increased visibility often translates into streams. Some observers argue that the fan clash ultimately reinforces his brand. He's always leaned into romance and showmanship, said entertainment strategist Marcus Hill. The fact that a flower delivery can dominate headlines shows how strong his cultural imprint is. In that sense, the noise may be less about rivalry and more about relevance. Meanwhile, BTS remains a powerhouse in global pop, and their fandom's passion reflects years of deep connection. The online exchange underscores how interconnected today's music ecosystem has become. American pop and K-pop no longer exist in separate lanes. They share timelines, audiences, and cultural conversations. For viewers watching the drama unfold on YouTube and X, the story carries emotional layers. Some see harmless marketing inflated by algorithms. Others see a symbolic struggle over influence in a globalized industry. But beneath the noise lies a simpler truth: artists who matter spark reaction. Indifference rarely trends. As the headlines fade, attention turns back to the music. If a new Bruno Mars project arrives this year, it will enter a landscape primed for spectacle. His track record suggests he understands timing. He disappears, refines, then reemerges with precision. Each era feels intentional. Each rollout blends nostalgia with modern strategy. In the end, the Valentine's Day firestorm may be remembered less as a feud and more as a reminder of pop's emotional power. A single romantic gesture revealed how deeply fans invest in their icons. It exposed the fragile balance between celebration and competition in digital culture. Looking ahead, Bruno Mars stands at a crossroads familiar to long-running superstars: evolve or repeat. History suggests he will choose evolution. If his past is any indicator, the next chapter will combine tight musicianship, visual spectacle, and emotional accessibility. And when it arrives, the conversation, heated or harmonious, will once again prove that in American pop culture, relevance is measured not just in charts, but in the intensity of the reaction. For now, one thing is certain: a bouquet of roses managed to stop the scroll. And in today's attention economy, that alone speaks volumes about the enduring magnetism of Bruno Mars. Simple Valentine's Day gesture turned into one of the most talked about pop culture moments of the week. Bruno Mars surprised fans with romantic flower deliveries as part of a promotional rollout, but the move quickly ignited debate across social media, drawing unexpected reactions from segments of the BTS fandom. What began as a feel-good campaign evolved into a viral conversation about influence, fandom power, and the intensity of modern music culture. For over a decade, Bruno Mars has remained one of America's most consistent hitmakers. From his early chart-topping singles to the Grammy-dominating era of 24K Magic and the critically acclaimed Silk Sonic project, he has built a reputation for showmanship, musical precision, and cross-generational appeal. Moments like this highlight not only his marketing instincts, but also his enduring relevance in a fast-moving digital landscape. Why does this matter to US audiences? Because Bruno Mars represents a rare blend of old-school artistry and modern virality. His ability to spark conversation, whether through music, performance, or a single romantic gesture, shows how deeply pop culture is intertwined with online communities. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: Bruno Mars still knows how to command attention. Watch the full breakdown to understand what really happened and why it's bigger than just Valentine's Day.